Here is my student ID. I am Lindsay Kruep, and I'm going to be speaking on paranormal sites in St. Louis.
Her audience for today is myself, Bobby, Bill, Ryan, Sarah, and Karen. Got a second phone going in case we have issues with the recording.
Okay. The first site I'd like to talk about is the Lemp Mansion. That's pretty much the most well-known paranormal site amongst St. Louis people and the United States. I'm going to talk about briefly just the 3 members of the Lemp family that committed suicide in the mansion. The first member is William Sr. He committed suicide. He was the first member to commit suicide in the mansion. The second is his son, William Jr. He committed suicide in his office. And the third member is Charles Lemp. He committed suicide in 1946. And I also wanted to touch base on Lillian Lemp. She did not commit suicide in the mansion itself, but she was known as the Lavender Lady amongst everyone that knows about the Lemp Mansion. And she is seen walking around the grounds. And this is actually a recorded sighting of her. She's in the tower, what they call the tower. When she was alive, that was one of her favorite places. So she is known to be seen in those spots. TAPS actually came to St. Louis a few years ago to do an investigation on the Lemp Mansion, and their findings were that indeed the mansion was haunted. They pretty much experienced the same things that a lot of the workers and guests that stayed overnight experienced. So that was pretty cool. They did say that they had a lot of uneasy feelings in the attic, things like that. They did make contact with the K2 meters with spirits. And so basically they just determined that it was legit and that the mansion is haunted with spirits of, I guess, the Lemp family. The second place that I'd like to talk about is what they refer to as the Exorcist House. That is in North County. This is a picture of what the house looks like. And the story behind the Exorcist House is actually what we know as the Exorcist movie from the 70s. This is the story that actually came about to make the movie. And what had happened was in the 1940s, actually 1949, there was a little boy that came to St. Louis as a result of some things that were happening in his home in Maryland. How it came about that he actually came to St.Louis was he had a kind of an abrasion on his side that said Louis. So that was his family's, I guess, sign that they need to bring him to St. Louis to, I guess, try to get treatment for the things that were happening to him. And it turns out that an exorcism actually took place inside this home of his aunt and uncle. And there were 3 priests from St. Louis that actually took part in the exorcism. And during the exorcism, there was a time period where they moved him to Alexian Brothers Hospital to evaluate him. They thought something was wrong with him psychologically. So after they determined that it was not that, they brought him back to the home to further the exorcism. Exorcism took a total of 12 days, and they determined that he was possessed, and that's pretty much all it was. It's actually a famous house now. It is privately owned, and no one actually ever speaks of it, but it was proven that there was an exorcism, he was possessed, and he actually lives back home now. He's grown with kids and all that stuff, but he lives a normal life, but right now it is determined that it was a possession and there was an exorcism in the house, so pretty cool stuff. So, thanks.